seeing whatever situation this is. Because for some reason, goodness, it's like they talk too much. So someone could be doing one of those, but it's not like talk too much on like, ooh, they just a chatty Cathy, not talk about nothing. But this is one of those, they talk too much because they telling on us. This is given a situation where people, you know how like people do things to certain people and they just don't want you to speak about their wrongdoings or what they doing to a person. However, in certain situations, you have to know, because right now, let me see. Okay, right now we only got one person on the. That just means like one. Let me take that back. Let me see. So we got 2 to 10 people right now controlling this, because it's like, dang, I didn't expect for them to. Somebody didn't expect for me to be up at this time. I mean, outside of the fact that I got woken up because, I mean, my AC had to be taken care of, which is great. But it's like, I'm getting where, like, oh, they talking too much. No, it's, Ace of Swords came, we get a justice system. Also, it's like, somebody's like, they usually not up at this time. Somebody could be curious. It's like, how? Also, this is like truth and justice, protection from enemies who will steal one's fortune. Okay, so these are like, I'm on the right thought process. That's why I said these cards are useful, especially when like if you have difficulty with like articulating your words, a visual is sometimes necessary. That's why it's important to know exactly what type of learner you are. Or, you know, when you coming into situations where you struggle with articulation, communication, and those sort of things, especially if you on like, there's certain things that are in place and people want to displace or misplace certain things for a systematic basis of control for what it is that you know what I'm saying, when you know what you know and things like that, and it can expose when people are doing you wrong. And that's where it's coming in, where I was saying where someone's like they talk too much, and it's like it's not a talk too much in a way of like you just telling every fucking thing just to tell it. No, you telling everything because you know it's the truth. And more often than not, where people come in situations where they want to utilize saying like, oh, you talk too much, and it's like, and it's triggering to them, is due to the simple fact it's something that you're speaking on that they don't want people to know that they're doing wrong towards you or to others. So more often than not, it's not like, you know how when people be looking to, I can't stand that person. It's not that they don't stand them. It's more often than not, it's because you're speaking up on a situation that could affect the reputation or the false image or the false narrative that they have going. And it will affect exactly what they're doing, what they have going on. However, they're not taking the accountability of how it's affecting others in a situation, or how it can like cause pain, hurt people, take things away, lying, stealing, and things like that. So more often than not, like where I'm looking at more of the situation where it's like it's some people like, I know they mad, that ain't got nothing to do with me, I'm not responsible for that. However, the fact of the matter of it is you're affecting what it is that I need to be doing, what I have going on, you know, is messing up my credibility of, you know, knowing, especially when you know you're not a person to cause issues, cause problems and things like that. More often than not, these will be people that want to throw in something that they know, like the masses, like, okay, what's going on globally? More, you know, morally, keyword morally, it used to be More often not now, no more. Because it's like, for me, now I know a person quick to throw religion in your face, like, oh, you need to pray about it. I know it's something that you're trying to hide about it. Because it's like more often than not, a person is quick to be like, you need to pray about it, but I'm coming to you to get a solution about it. Prayer ain't gonna always resolve everything. More often than not, it's certain things that you do need to talk about. You do need to put it out there in the open. You do, like, everything is not meant to be swept up under the rug. And in this type of situations, it's like, especially when it comes to justice, especially because justice is not only in the court of law. Justice could be the justice that you need for your peace, your sanity, your serenity. Those type of things is very prevalent for you to speak on things. And more often than not, it's like, oh, I don't want someone that is just a free thinker and they're just going against. No, it's not going against the grain. It's going against everything that you are okay and accustomed to, making sure that you can build a false narrative. If you're going to build a narrative, allow that narrative to be fair enough in a situation where people can make a logical and more robust type of, resolution or opinion on that situation, that is not detrimental to anybody in the situation. Neutral is neutral. However, choosing a side about what it is that you choose to do, what you're talking about, how you carry the situation is very, very, very important versus, hey, I'm going to sit here and say, this police officer is shit. Okay, what have this police officer done, said, behaved, thrown in a situation, carried out? Okay, so let me go ahead and look at the whole broader situation versus, oh yeah, this is our top-notch security flight of the motherfucking world. It's not. More often than not, it's more, let me focus on what it is that I have at hand. What problem is coming in? When you get more of a situation where two complaints is coming in and there's like somewhat of a similarity in that situation, hey, I gotta look into that. I got a problem. Whether I choose to do, in your everyday life, a risk assessment is very prevalent. No different than when you do it in the military, government, systems, federal, it doesn't matter. Risk assessments is necessary even for your own personal life. For my own personal life, hey, it's a risk assessment. If I go ahead and allow these type of people to be my friends or allow them into my personal world when I know I got goals, ambitions, or whatever, okay, it's cool. Like, I'm here in your environment. You know, more or less, if you're more the person in the environment of positivity, you actually looking to make a change, you're actually looking to move forward and things like that. And the person that's actually really mature, looking to make a change in their life, more often than not, and it's okay, you bring yourself in that environment, it's like, dang, they ain't changing. And okay, I know we've been, cool since we were little, since we were 10. However, since we were 10, we done laughed, we done grew up, we graduated. Some of us go to college, not all. Some of us go to trade school. Some of us get jobs. Some of us do certain things. But however, what are you doing to make a change, right? And more often than not, it's like, damn, you still having girl problems. I feel bad for you, son. Like, it's 199 fucking problems in the world. You still got the same problems. Damn, that ain't no growth, right? So smart and, logical person will be like, dang, it's like, I would hate to lose the friendship. But however, the importance of where my mind is going, where I'm ready for growth and doing better in my life. And I know more or less that I've experienced or I've been in an environment or I've been around other people that is going to allow you to have growth. More often than not, I'm not fit to sit here and stay in a situation where people like, oh, let's gossip about such and such. Okay, the fact that you gossiping and shit like that, that's boring. Do you have a solution? More often than not, when you start throwing situations or solutions in people's faces and they get real erratic, like, why are you saying that? Why are you exit the room? Because the same way that they doing that right there towards another person, especially when they're not in the room, remove yourself, because guess what? Now you're persuading a situation to go in a particular way where it doesn't need to go. And then more often than not, you're sitting there not knowing that you're playing into the hand of causing the person who's really a victim in a situation. And you're defending the people who are actually the people that are starting things versus, hey, that is actually a victim, man. Like, we sitting there enabling a person that's causing someone to be a victim in the situation. What is this? What time we at? Oh, this is lunch hour. So it's people at lunch hour, right? So more often than not, it's more people that will like look into situations where it was just like, for me, it's more or less anybody going against me. It's about money, nothing else. It's about money and just like, oh, we don't want her around because that will reveal the truths of what it is that we doing. Also, it's also another situation where someone is trying to pull a narrative, right? Somebody just got caught in a situation, literally. It's a doctor, a mother figure, or some people that are mother figures or women that literally just got caught in the midst of where they in the middle of a phone call or something like that, and it's like somebody could have tried to convince these people like, oh, I don't watch them, I don't pay attention to them, and I feel like somebody literally just walked into the room like, what you doing? And it's like, what you talking about? I was just, and it's like, it ain't I was just nothing. And like, somebody's literally having this conversation right now because somebody came in here, like, whoever be sitting in my live, I literally be reading the hell out of them. Like, I'm getting somebody, like, somebody don't mind it, but another person just be sitting there, like, caught off guard or caught by surprise. Like, how the hell you know this? Like, you would think that I'm sitting there getting prime time into these people's personal lives, but it's just like, well, if you want to be here and alive and you getting triggered, don't be involved in something that you know you're going to get yourself caught up in. Don't sit there and be feeling like, oh, I could cause this person to do this, because somebody is literally doing the cow tongue spell. There's also somebody that's messing with a voodoo doll. There's also a group of people that call themselves churchy or religious or whatever. There's also a group of people that are in the medical field, nursing, doctors, whatever. And then it's like, some of these people used to be people I may have kicked it with once upon a time, but however it goes, it's like, how is it that you know? It's like, I don't care about your business, because if I did, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna make it my business to go out my way to go look, go find and see if I can find your social medias. I'm gonna make it my business. Like, nah, that requires too much energy, too much time, and me, I ain't even got it in me to do all that. But the biggest part of this situation is it's like, how people will have these conversations. It's like, oh, well, I'm gonna attempt to go in and try to heal these things, and I want to figure out how they know what they know, and what they feeling and how they do this. And it's like, well, ain't no need to do something on the low when you gotta know some shit. Go know it. I mean, for me, it ain't about, oh, what other people gonna think about me, motherfucker. If I need to know, I need to know. I ain't fit to be over here trying to figure out, oh, what you know. More often than not, any person that could come to you about another person, or anyone willing, like, shit, if I wanted to test the theory just to see if somebody real, more often than not, or like, shit, motherfucker, you need me to test to see if your friend's for real about you, or if you dealing with a fake friend, more often than not, go over there with some, just make up something. That person ain't doing this shit, but make that shit up and go bring it to a person. You'll see more or less about who they really are, what they got going on, and how they move will dictate to you more often than not that they were already looking for a reason to go against you. You can build any type of false narrative. However, it requires you to know that a person don't do that. Seeing that, like, in this situation, is like, if I'm an investigator, right, and I'm a fed, my job is to observe you fully to the capacity to make sure, like, hey, if somebody's throwing a narrative, oh, she's a prostitute, she does this, she does that, right? My job is to observe this person to the fullest capacity. You said that they do all these things right, because this is the information I got to go off of. But before I take any type of action, I want to observe to make sure that any of these habits is not necessary, or if it's true or if it's not, right? Not to mention, on top of that, if that's the case and how they're saying it's going to go, are there people bringing these people towards this person, or this person bringing it on their own accord, right? More often than not, when it's people that you can sit there and clearly see, like, they don't talk to these people, they don't communicate with these people. How long has it been since y'all, actually genuinely be talking about certain things in your life? You'll know more or less, like, the tighter your circle is, or the tighter, well, shit, I'm on my own. So the less people you have in, the more information you know what's going out. Your input to your output. And if you don't know what your input is, then the output, you ain't gonna know where the source is, right? However, more often than not, the outsource of that situation is going to be somebody from the input. But however, how much of the input are you giving to those people to go ahead and do what it is that they do? That's why it's like it'll be so easy, like where people be like, is it intuition, is it prophecy? No, it's called common dumb sense. But however, the beauty in the situation, my common sense is not in the next person's common sense. That's the beauty in it. However, what I'm going to do, what they wouldn't do. The military has shown me in every which way, once you experience certain things in the world, other things that people do, it's not going to move you. It's not going to impress you. It's like, okay, well, it's not for me to judge anybody, because I was like, the beauty of being desensitized to a lot of shit is just like, oh, okay, like to them it's something real exciting, and to me it's like, oh, okay, that's what you do, but it's not for me to judge them. But however, when it's another way around, where more often than not, when people are adamant about making a narrative seem like you're a bad person, you're bitchy, or oh, he's an a-hole, he's a dick, he's this, da 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 da, more often than not, and then depending on who's saying those things about you, they were already looking to go against you. Period, point blank. More often than not, it's jealousy and envy, or you have something very, very prevalent that they're so jealous about that they're willing to go so hard in the paint about it. And me, my situation has always been, if it wasn't about someone who I was dating, if it wasn't about money, then the last result, any person should have common sense to know they mad and they jealous about something that I did not give to them, or it was an intention thing. But more often than not, like when people start getting like real out of pocket when it comes to me, more often than not, is money. It's going to be money. Because it's not like, I can see if I was an irresponsible person when it can't come to like financial things, that right there is a very big importance. Okay. If that wasn't nothing like really stressed growing up with this woman outside of the stuff that, had to be done for the money to come in, the money was important. Okay. Bills were going to be paid. Didn't matter. That's an importance. You got to be responsible before anything. So in whatever the situation is, it's like somebody is getting so upset because it's like, you shouldn't know what's going on. More often than not, you don't ever really need the facts or paper or proof to know what people are doing towards you, because more often than not, they're going to do their due diligence not to talk to you, respond to you, keep a distance from you, hide things from you, lie on you. So when you just need to know shit, what is there to need to know? You already showing me you're doing it, the behavior, and then more often than not, the more low down and conniving it gets, the more indirect it becomes. However, the indirect of the situation will show you more or less exactly what it's pertaining to, what it's about, and who is who. The crowd and how they move, their careers, their jobs, more or less you'll know exactly who it came from. If you paid attention to your surroundings well enough, you know exactly where it came from. But more often than not, you know how fucking far and how deep to go by the smaller the communication it is with you, the bigger the fucking situation it is. The more that they look to hide what it is that they did to you, the more distance or the more passive aggressive the energy will be towards you. So like in my situation, it's like usually I'll get decent emails or things like that, and I'm noticing more or less that I'm getting the spam emails. So the spam emails is going to tell you more or less what they trying to steal from you, what they taking from you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when people ain't talking to you, ain't did nothing to them. Social media will give us dead giveaway, those type of things like that. Like it's a lot of things that will tell you more or less exactly what it is. So the more or less you just learn to just like not take that shit personal. It's like now it's just like it ain't shit to take personal in no type of fucking situation at all. And then it's like, more or less it's just like, shit, I just want what I want, and I need what I need, and that is my MONEY. I need my money. I want my money, bitch. That's what the little girl on the little skit with Will Ferrell said. Call me Pearl if you dare. I want my money, bitch. Just give me my shit and leave me alone. Because it's like also it's be people like, oh, she's a witch. Motherfucker, it ain't no witchery to the bullshit. Like you doing some debauchery type shit, and then you expect for somebody to not realize what type of shit that you on. Like it's like, am I the only person using brain cells and knowing that the sparks and the neurons and the neurotransmitters in my brain is actually operating and functioning? Or is it just I'm dealing with a bunch of fucking people that are malfunctioning and fucking retarded as fuck? And it's like, oh, she's slow. Well, we could play slow all day, you know? You want to be slow, I'll be slow. But shit, either way it goes, this is not medical textbook. I mean, just give me a fucking law degree already so I can teach people how to effectively and efficiently just how to do what it is that they need to do fucking appropriately. It's like, we're watching. I mean, I know you watching and stalking. I mean, the beauty of this situation is, are we ever going to ask the person about the truth? Great afternoon. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta really just pay attention to like how people move. Sometimes it's usually more often than not when certain things are occurring to you, it's gonna be the people closest to you. More often than not. It's going to be the people closest to you. However, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very prevalent for you to know yourself so well enough that if you don't know yourself, you're allowing the world to tell you exactly who the hell you are. Okay. I am who I am, and who I am is not a motherfucking person that is moved from what somebody feels that, oh, you're not healing. How are you projecting onto me about what it is that you're not doing? I know I have some work to do on myself. It might not be the work that you feel is prevalent for the importance of you, but however, apparently I'm very relevant to something that you're doing. When there's a lot of eyes on you, you're doing something very relevant. Whether people want to admit it or not, every time when a person got to go out their way to stop something you doing what you do, talking about you, you're doing something very relevant that those people are not capable of doing. Whether good or bad, it's like, oh, that person's doing criminal activity. You just glad that you just wasn't able to come up with that. I mean, more often than not, depending on the crime, sometimes you gotta sit there and think like, God darn, that was very creative of you. What was your thought process? Like, I'm a curious person. It's like, hey, that how did you manage to hide and you was able to decapitate a person, bring it in the house and put it in your top drawer? Help me help you. How did you? Okay, what? And now I'm going to ask questions, and somebody's like, "That's let me be me and you be you." That part right there. But the beauty of the situation is, more often than not, the more eyes on you, the more it is that you're doing something very prevalent. That's what you have to, acknowledge. A lot of people be like, I'm alone in the world. There's nothing great that I do. Little old me. You mean little old you in this big old world? You ever hear the term, it's a small world? The term, it's a small world. More often than not, it's like what they used to tell us as a kids, a closed mouth don't get fed. Closed mouth don't get fed. So if you hurting on the inside and what people are doing is affecting you, you have a right to speak up on that truth. Rather that truth is like, you messing up the family. The family didn't care about what it is that I'm speaking my truth. I'm hurt. And apparently bringing it to you is bringing it even worse. And even more so, there's more people willing to go ahead and take the word of these same people, and you're standing alone. So you mean it's 20 of them, it's only one of me, and I'm not being heard? And it's not like, oh, this is a person fighting just because they never were heard or seen. It's not ever really about that. More often than not, the one person that they looking to suppress is the person with the truth. And the person with the truth, they know the person with the truth will make them look as if they are, and they're not ready to stand in that truth. Also, the character will speak volumes. Character speaks volumes. A person making a constant decision and a choice to hurt people, lie on people, go out their way to get other people to go against a person. In my situation, if it wasn't about me being in a relationship, there's not one person that I could call a friend, best friend, cousin, mom, uncle, every single last one of them slept with any person that I ever been with. That was hurtful. And then it was like, Sharita, eventually you got to get past that hurt, because you know what? That person may feel like they putting you through a test. And more often than not, I'm like, actually, the test is with you. Are you weak or are you strong? Because I already know what comes right along at the moment as soon as I decide to say I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm in love with someone. God forbid that it's a person actually, it feels good. What that song go? It feels good to love somebody when that somebody really loves you back type thing. More often than not, there's always somebody in the background mad because you're Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Why do you always get what you want? Right? You will have those type of people, whether you realize it or not, because when you're in the world of knowing what peace is, what being happy is, letting bygones be bygones. Hey, I don't even want to argue with you. I don't want to fight with you. We fam. But however, what you're doing is like really messed up, and what you're doing is affecting me. But however, if you're not willing to respect my boundaries of knowing like, hey, you don't need to be in my business. You don't need to violate what it is that I'm doing. And the fact that you violating that boundary, I have a right to tell you you're not welcome in my life. And more often than not, some people struggle like, oh my God, because that's not family. That's not what it is. It's called, I created a healthy boundary and you're not respecting it. And the fact that you're disrespecting it because you want to have control, that means you don't have control in your life. So for me, I have a right to either try to help you figure that part out. And if you're not willing to figure that part out, don't sit there and try to figure out my life when you're not capable of figuring out your own life. Where did that trauma come from? Why do you need such control? Where did you feel you lost control or you did not have control in your life? More often than not, you got to start asking people that. Where did you lose control? Where did you get lost in the sauce, in the word of the coldest word that we got out here? Occurred. Where did you get lost? Help me, because I'm not fit to make all this stuff. I'm not no stripper. I don't do this shit for 50 cents. But it's just like the beauty of this situation is, where did you go wrong? Where did you go wrong? Where did we get lost in the sauce? You got to start asking them questions more often than not. Where did the control get lost? Because more often than not, sometimes when you don't pay attention, you're going to end up harboring that same type of thing that they're going through, and then you carry it out. That's where it comes generation to generation, whether we recognize it or not. Damn. Sometimes, the smart ones, wisen up. It'll be a crazy situation that, boom, it blows up right in their face, and they'll be like, God damn, Granny used to do X, Y, Z. Damn. Auntie such and such used to, okay, where did we go wrong, baby? Who do we need to clear out, separate ourselves from? And if, that separation ain't enough, sometimes you got to cut it off. I see you at the funeral, and some people will be like, they'll take it personally, like, that's hateful. It's not hateful when it comes to your peace. It's not hateful when it's coming to affect your heart. It's not hateful when it's affecting your viable way of living. It's not hateful, especially if it's affecting your family that you created, where you're creating with your own loins, or you pushing out of your uterus to have that home for your children. And then, do you need your children to keep repeating what you had to see? Have you ever been in a family where it was favoritism, colorism, racism? Who had more money than who could sing better than who could do this better than who? When you come from those type of things, then you will realize, like, well, dang, okay, where can we stop this at? More often than not, you not know that you're causing a curse on yourself whenever you sit there in that environment where, like, I fought so hard, and even though it was so difficult, and it's like, it pained me so bad that when I dated, it was like, I do not want to argue in front of my kids. It's not healthy, right? Because you grew up seeing mama and them, they argue, sometimes the heat of the moment comes in, we sometimes ain't got control of those situations, but you remember that when it was a moment in your life where it affected you, right? We ain't got no business bringing in these type. Like, you could talk about things in the world, but it's certain things that you just do your best to make sure that them kids don't have to feel like when you are angry, they ain't got to feel that heat of that anger, right? So more or less, it calls you to trigger something inside. Like, dang, what did I grow up seeing at a point in time? I got to make a change, right? Then it's even bigger where you go into, let's use most of the time where families come together, Thanksgiving, Christmas, right? All right, we're going to do Thanksgiving and Christmas. We want to bring the family together, right? It's important when we have Thanksgiving, we're going to be thankful for us being able to come together, right? But the biggest part of this situation is, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address the elephant in the room. Because when you call yourself a family and in a family unit, you got to look at what's the problem? Where's the breakdown in the communication? Where is everybody hurt? Because I don't need this sister taking my kids, having my kids thinking that I ain't shit, and that ain't the thing. Because way back in, 1986, we was over here going to, to the concert to go see Supersonic and shit, and she was sleeping with, TT, and TT was sleeping with Kiki, and Kiki was messing with Kay, and Kay messed with Trey messed with, Benny. Benny was messing, Benny knew I was talking to Carlos, but, Carlos went to go tell Benny that Kiki and TT and Maria and stuff like that we was doing da-da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? Where all that miscommunication. But let's address the elephant in the room when it's time for us to come back to 2025. And that situation from 86 is still present in 2025 because I'm still holding on to that grudge, baby. The grudge is only killing you. Let's address the elephant in the room. Where did the miscommunication come down, right? But also, I'm still holding on to what Mama did to me in 1976, and she sold me for the rock. She sold me for the food stamp book. You know what I'm saying? Okay, granted, Mama had to get it how she had to get it because Daddy wasn't in the house, or, Daddy had to do what he had to do because Mommy wasn't around, or Granny, or whatever the case may be. But let's address that in the room. But when we was around, our other auntie, her kids like to touch on the other kids, but nobody really addressed or had that conversation about where did the situation start. Did anybody take that moment in this moment to say, hey, we need to heal? I'm tired of seeing the suffer. I'm tired of all of this. But also at the same time, these will be the same people that'll come in and be like, they're so angry. They so mad. I'm mad at my sister. So since I'm mad at my sister, I'm going to take it out on her kids. Oh, well, shit. That look like that's her golden son. So since I lost my son, I'm going to take it out on her son. Okay, why are you taking it out on her son, baby girl? Hold up. Let's talk about it. Okay, listen, I'll be the mediator, and especially when you family, y'all know the strength of each other. As family, you should know the strength of each other. You know who, hey, if they get mad enough, bitch, she picking up a brick and she knocking your ass out, okay? So that's where, who's the Zen person in that family that we're going to have this in the family room. But baby, listen, let's hash this shit out. If we ain't going to seek the therapy, well, at least let the Zen motherfucker in the room, let's speak it out. It's 2025, baby. We ain't finna hold on to some shit that happened 32, 33, 39, 40 years ago, baby. Let's drop that shit right now. The world turning real fucking crazy right now. So you gonna still try to make somebody else's kids be on your side to do some shit to hurt your sister, your auntie, and all these other stuff? Why are we doing that? That's where you run into the situation. I'm mad. It's parents right now. Shit. I got a person that's supposed to be my goddamn parent. But she had so much anger and so much hate. Oh, I love my mama. And more often than not, it be people that get really, really close to the people who hurt them the most. But then they'll end up collaborating based off of that trauma bond. And off that trauma bond, what do you get? A person that got a hate and anger like, ouch, I hurt. I hurt still to this day. But it's like, that's for me to sort that shit out. But until you have to sit in a world alone where it's just like, shit, it's really just me. I soldiered this shit. That's why I can talk my shit. That's why it ain't nobody, like, it's not one soul that's going to come to me unless you God himself. I done fought God plenty of times. God, give me the strength to know, why does this person have so much anger and hate? Because I stood up on 2 feet, 10 toes down to say, hey, auntie, why you didn't stop her from hurting me? Well, she couldn't stop her from hurting me because she's still hurt from what her sister did to her. So she holding on to her anger, right? But the agenda of this situation, where do they always come together? You know your family, right? Mine's only came together when it was about that paper. Some of y'all's wasn't only coming together when it was time for y'all to actually go to war on another motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Versus not go to war on each other, but y'all coming together to go war on other motherfuckers. But what happens to those who's warring to come together to take out people? Y'all watched that one girl on Facebook alone where her whole family jumped her on Facebook Live for some damn insurance money. On her live, they jumped that girl for some insurance money and only got what? Less than 100K? Less than 100K. But when you take the initiative, for me, I can use myself because I can't speak on everybody else's, but for myself, I had to say, I'll cut it off. I'll lose it all. I fought too hard, but shit, that hey, sometimes the good fight ain't always enough. But however, I know my words are strong enough for somebody to get that click moment in your head to know, hey, it's something for me. It's worth fighting for. Shit, I'll fight for my life all the way to the motherfucking end. But I know in my situation, these motherfuckers, they about money. It ain't about love. It ain't about respect. It ain't about boundaries. It's nothing about money. Because I had to look at the situation and was just like, did nobody ever just think that, hey, you know, why would you want to be okay with violating your child? But I also, in order for me to heal internally, it's like, damn, she was brought up by, you know, mercenaries, pimps, prostitution. They had to get it how they had to get it. They still had that slave mentality, but it's not like it's their fault. But also at the same time, they had a responsibility to themselves to heal. But however, when you get so cold in the world, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. That's all they know. So I'm not going to fault them. But however, at the same time, I got more common sense to know when it's all about the money, ain't no love in that. They're going to choose the money before they worry about love. It's about the money. But if you don't come from that type of world, who are you to talk about, oh, you should do this, you should do that? You don't come from that type of world. You don't know nothing about that. You wouldn't know. It'll be people like, I can say it ain't much that you can say if you ain't ever come from that. You ain't got no business getting involved because you get involved. Guess what? You giving that person the right, that the one that's making the right decision to say, I'm stepping away. I give it up. It's between you and God, however you choose to do that. But however, I know in my situation that I'm going to seek therapy. I'm going to make sure I'm making healthier choices, decisions, do better in my life, make better financial things so I don't feel like I'm in lack, that I don't feel like I'm in poverty, that I don't feel like I'm losing anything. Because anything that was a loss, it wasn't even really meant for me in the first place. It wasn't meant for me in the first place. So it's not crying over the spilled milk. It's crying over the fact like, hey, I do have pain. I do got feelings. I actually do have a heart. Because it's like more often than not, this is going to be other people crying over the fact that, oh, I wanted this money and this wouldn't die. And until you have to have money on your head, you can see how far a person willing to go when it comes to money. So, you know, when you witness those type of things, you're going to know how people moving. That's why I find the beauty of it is it's like, I come from a dark world. And it's just like, I mean, I know my humor probably people be like, well, where did this come from? It's, hey, I mean, it is what it is. But however, when you know you mean well in any type of situations, you learn to be grateful for it. Because if it wasn't for me to know for a fact, I was like, these motherfuckers, if they try to go after the money that these people passed away, left me. But they couldn't ever understand this lie. Why do people like her so much? Because I'm genuine. I genuinely want to help you. I genuinely want to see you win. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Even if it's not with me or whatever, I want to see you fucking win. It's too many people always taking the loss, but if you don't see it within yourself, how the fuck can anybody else try to cheer you on? But it's be people willing to cheer you on with the bullshit. It's people willing to cheer you on and go ahead and see you fall, steal from you, lie on you. However, anyone willing to steal and lie on you, they was already looking for a reason to do it to you in the first place. You got to know the psychology and the psychological aspect of the person, for the reason being why they do that. Because it was not even one moment where I sat there and said, oh, why are they doing this? I know why. Why not? They're not accustomed to people to having a heart. They're not accustomed to people thinking and knowing exactly what's the motive behind it, because it's like some people are very good at playing a facade. Some people are really good at being felonious at certain things. I said felonious, okay? Phony, fake. You know, they're very good at putting on that. In order for you to be a call girl, you gotta fake it to make it, right? So when you be in those brothels, they gotta fake it to make it. But more often than not, it's seduction, right? It's a seduction thing, right? Seduction be the downfall of most people with a weakness. If a person is easily seduced to do what it is that they do, shit, that's gonna be their downfall. What is it? What does it take to go ahead and seduce you to do some dirty shit to somebody or to get it? That's your weakness. It ain't shit in this goddamn world that you're gonna convince me like, oh, we want you to do this. I'm cool. I just want what's due to me. Keyword, what's due to me. Not a penny more, not a penny less. What's due to me. Because that's mine. That's what I bust my butt for. That's what somebody felt in their heart, in their endearment for me, that I was deserving of. That was for somebody who thought of me before they left this world to make sure that I had that. So I can heal, so I can do what it is that I need to do. That, hey, I give her care because, hey, nobody else is giving her care. Or she gave me enough care that I thought about her to leave her this. You know what I mean? And it's just like, when you know that you do things right, people are going to be willing to do things to make sure that your life is all right. I mean, I would, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. It'd be people like, oh, my parents didn't leave me anything. Were you a shitty kid? Were you considerate of their pains? Were you considerate of their struggles? And then especially in those times, did they take those moments to do their best to heal with what they knew and what they had? Did you offer a solution in that situation? And more often than not, some people just want to be more of the problem versus the solution base. But more often than not, those who tend to cause more problems tend to cause more problems for themselves. So when their demise come, oh, why God? How did I get sick? How did I get hurt? Oh, such and such got shot up today. I mean, somebody was gonna catch it. More often than not, where you know where the energy flows, that's where it's gonna go. Oh, that's your favorite kid, and you speaking hateful on somebody else's kid. Now we sitting there looking on the news of, dang, they say, oh my God, my love, it's crazy. And once upon a time, he was just sitting there talking about somebody else losing their kids. Funny how you sit there and laugh at somebody's kid dying and you didn't do shit about it. You not know you receive really bad dharma or really bad karma when God put in front of you that somebody is suffering, hurting, even if it's not for you to talk to them financially or anything like that, but you know someone is causing a problem to them. Like, I would be wrong if I know I'm sitting here watching a situation and it's a woman getting beat on, that I will get indirect or actually indirectly, but directly I will be affected somewhere wrong that line. That if I ain't at least called anonymously a hotline like, hey, somebody needs help. They're a victim of this. I don't know if they're going to admit it or, you know, come to you or say anything like that. I know I am fully responsible for that person. Anything that happens in your life is not meaningless. Everything that happens in your life is very meaningful. The simplest conversation, the simple interaction shit. Even you just sitting there seeing just a tree blow by. Shit, hearing an airplane. That stuff, none of that is not meaningless. It has every reason of meaningful things of knowing exactly what's going on in your life. Shit, I wouldn't even give a fuck if I did somebody so fucking dirty to a point, hey, and you fit to arrest me? All right, look. Look, how much time we looking at? All right, look, if I give you some information, how much time can we get kicked off of here? It depends on what you can give me. All right, motherfucker, like, if I was a fed and it was somebody coming to me and it's something that can, like, solve something, motherfucker, you getting off scot-free. But however, you know what I'm saying? You gonna owe some time somewhere. I don't give a fuck if it's house arrest or something like that. Like, your ass paid some restitution for something. But, you know, at the same time, like, shit, I gotta go undercover. I gotta do what? Motherfucker, listen. You don't know publicly. Don't do no fucking fuck shit around Rita, baby. I'm telling it. Okay? Especially if I know if it's affecting my environment. Don't do that shit around here. Oh, they ain't inviting you to the park. Oh, because I probably don't snort that shit. I'm not with the bullshit of gossiping with, you know, the crew. I'm not with none of that. But however, if you can be honest, like, I'm more or less, it's like, it's very important shit. If you can communicate with me, why would I be concerned about what you got going on? What you got going on ain't got nothing to do with me. But however, if you was a person that did something to me, oh yeah, I'm telling you, motherfucker. Give me that shit. I'll be the different type of opportunist. You tried the fuck out of me, did you? I'm getting that lick back, shouty. You do the crime, you gonna do that motherfucking time. But especially if I'm a firm believer, like, shit, crime is gonna happen regardless. Somebody sitting here like, well, maybe because it seems like she gonna snitch on us. Nah, don't be sitting there be crybaby or nothing like that. Were you one of the people that did something messed up? Were you one of the people that you had a chance to go ahead and tell me what's up? Versus, you know what I'm saying? Because more often than not, you got to think about, if a person do you dirty, right? Would you rather go ahead and help the person that come in and like, yes, I did participate, I did this, but I'm allow you to know, here goes some proof, here's some evidence, I'm out. All right, cool. I ain't never fucking see you. Hey, we got to line up. They go ahead and arrest that person. That person's in there. It's like that movie with Morgan Freeman and those old dudes where they robbed the bank. And the little girl was like, Mommy, I think she got hurt or something. And she was like, Mommy, I know he's hiding a mask. And they was like, well, we need you to go ahead and identify who the man is. And she remembered him based off the watch. And she getting ready to go down the line, but she stopped right in front of Morgan Freeman. And she looked at him. And she put on the man. She's like, I don't see him. And everybody smirked because they knew if they spotted him, they would have had everybody. But it was like the little girl basically, seeing in her, I don't see him. Because, well, guess what? In her heart, even though they was doing something really fucking bad, that man still made sure she got out of that bitch safe, right? That right there is respectable. And you got to think about any type of situation when it comes to your life. I can respect the person who could really just, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something very detrimental, it can end up with your life. If somebody coming in, motherfucker, I ain't see you. I don't know you. Motherfucker, you could have been over there and you mauled the hell out of a person. I don't know what they did. I don't want to know what they did, but you came up, hey, such and such trying to put a bag on your head. Such and such is about to do this. That such and such did. All right, cool, bet. I don't know you. But, the ones that still going hard in the paint, I appreciate you. And it's not for anybody else to know how I knew what I found out. It ain't for them to know. All they know is like, how the fuck you get off the motherfucker? I don't know. But all I know is I ain't indicted in none of this shit. All I know is I ain't got no part in it. Why? Because you the person that saved the person that more often than not, some people wasn't going to be willing to go ahead and say, hey, what they call it, not the great, it's one of those greater goods, even though it's bad. It's one of the greater goods. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your due diligence. It's one of those devil advocate. There you go. I'm the devil's advocate in that situation. The devil's doing the devil's work, but shit, I gotta advocate for the devil because the devil came in to go ahead and save. Because shit, unbeknownst to a lot of people, would you believe in God if you didn't believe in the devil? Some people be like, huh? There's no good without bad, right? There's no happiness without knowing what sadness is, right? So you wouldn't believe in the devil if you didn't already believe in God. That's what logic say. Are you going to believe in the law if there isn't any law? How would you know what a law is? How would you know if you're breaking the law? How you know if it's unlawful? They just tell you that there's a restriction. It's something that you shouldn't do. But however, on a situation, there's a loophole to everything that they do, right? So what are we really doing? Those will be the logical things that most often than not that people don't critically think or logically think about certain things that they do. So it's just like, right now it's just like, oh, we gotta unalive her because we stole all it. Okay, you stole it, but motherfucker, can you admit that you stole that shit? I can't get mad and sit there and press charges on some shit that you're not willing to fucking admit to, even though I know that you know that we both know that you took it that with the intent to go on and attempt on somebody's life, that you felt that somebody wouldn't be able to figure out exactly how you did it, why you did it, and the source of how you were capable of doing it. That be right there that, you know, goes around. What goes around comes back around. Do unto others as you want done unto you, right? Well, I don't want to get caught. Okay, don't nobody want to get caught in this shit. I don't want to get caught. Is there somewhere where somebody said that I could whoop your ass and get the fuck away with that shit? Common sense. But it's just like more often than not, you know, people would, you know, when you get into situations, there'll be more people willing to hide what it is that they doing towards you than tell you exactly what it is. And then they'd be having the audacity talking about you scared. Now, motherfucker, the person that's scared is the one that's scared to tell you that they did it. That's scary behavior. Like, you doing some shit, you scared to tell the person that you did it because you want them to look out for you, but you scared to tell them that you did some shit. I feel like, what was the point of you doing it if you're going to be scared to say that you did it? It defeats the whole purpose of you even doing it. You can't be big and bad and then be scared at the same time to tell somebody, did I do that? Do I look like motherfucking Steve Urkel, bitch? Like, motherfucker, if you did it, you did it. And then more often than not, it's the people closest to you doing it. Because they don't want to address the what? The elephant in the room. Uncle Tommy touches on the kids whenever mommy is not in the room. Uncle Tommy is still here at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Why is Uncle Tommy still here doing Christmas if he touch on all the kids doing the fucking holidays when no one's looking? Oh, I love when the little sir. The kids should be amongst kids, but I like to keep this one. Like, motherfucker, okay, so y'all sisters, brothers, and aunties, and everybody in here, y'all not, we still bringing Uncle Tommy to the party? I'm just making up a name, but somebody got triggered in a motherfucker about that shit. Who cares? But, don't you gotta make up fictional characters? I don't know no motherfucking Tommy unless, you know, it's coming off of Martin. I don't know. But that type of situation is like, are y'all addressing that? More often than not, do you know you curse your money, family money, generational, spiritual money, whenever you don't address that type of shit? Every time that y'all still be letting auntie that be loving to mess with them young boys, every time y'all bring her to the party and functions and shit, well, she family. I don't give a fuck about it being family. You know what the fuck she do when we got a whole bunch of motherfucking kids around this bitch and y'all cool with it? You know, Uncle Gene, he love to beat on the motherfucking women. Okay, do y'all tolerate and condone that shit? So y'all still inviting that motherfucker over here to the cookouts, the family function. You know he gonna be beating on this bitch, but we fighting to get away from that shit. And you want it, like, it be women that blows my mind talking about, I want a man that ain't gonna beat on me, but yet you still with a motherfucker and you condone it and allow motherfuckers that do that shit to be around you. Generation, bloodline, it just take a moment that you end up leaving the kid around them or your family or somebody around them, and them kids witness, well, Uncle Gene did it. Y'all gotta pay attention to that. And some people like, It's some people like la 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 not listening. You'll listen when that shit start happening because I married my husband and my husband I didn't ever expect my husband. Okay, for all the years that you sat there and try to kill your niece, now you didn't expect for your husband to sit there and try to kill you in your sleep. The fuck? Like it's like in my situation, it's literally like a motherfucker that came so hard for me where it went from them doing chemicals, putting in the food, putting in the medicine, messing with my medical records, my health records and stuff like that. That they didn't ever think for 1 second that the same people that they were doing business with, that all right, if you could take out a life insurance policy on me, what make you think ain't nobody gonna open up one on you? And then it was like when it came to my so-called aunt and her husband, it was just like, okay, well, your husband showed in every which way from the time he been married to your ass that he ain't like you. His family shows you every which way that he disrespects you. So I know when Kevin had passed on, his family was gonna do some trifling ass shit because they hated like, oh, she's disrespectful. I ain't disrespectful. You disrespecting my motherfucking aunt. And you feel like I'm gonna go for it. She going for it because she's still too busy trying to kiss his ass and go after him. He leave her ass, turn around and left her ass for a white girl. The white girl just so happened to be in pharmacy. It just so happened over the time, as y'all sitting there attacking me trying to get this motherfucking money, and over time you not realizing your health is declining. And in the midst of your fucking health declining, y'all going over here and do all this other shit. Now he over here getting one of those females, the mother police officer girls that you accused him of all the way back in the early 2000s from Winter Garden, Castleberry fucking area. He went on ahead and got her from Sanford, Ocala, Ocoee, wherever the fuck it was, to go ahead and do this shit to help him with the crime. But at the same time, she knew about you. Y'all was into that swinger shit. And the fact that y'all was into that swinger shit, you this all like, well, shit, it's a help to us. It's a benefit to us because shit, I can go ahead and get, Corey and Jill and all these people to get along, go along with it. But now here it is. Shamika finding out the reason why her and Stacy got the fucking divorce is because of the shit that you said. And then the shit that you said, you didn't tell the full part of it. So now they sitting here got somebody realizing, somebody's like, the shit go real deep. So when it's like, I'm the person that's not even in the room, I don't get invited to the party. So that means the person that already knows how those people operate, this is how the shit go down. But also, these are the people that forget what goes around come back around, and them not paying attention. Like, okay, if they willing to do it to her so they can get the money, what makes you think that they're not going to be willing to do it to you next? Because you know exactly who all we got to go ahead and do this that did it off the strength of me. You next. So that's why it's very important when you sitting there saying that you got a very strong family unit. Don't sit there and come together when at one point in time that y'all had a reason to go against each other. Because more often than not, when y'all got that pure fucking type of hate, more often than not, the person that got the most hate in the situation, they just paying attention. Oh, so this person gonna be willing to do this with the phones. This motherfucker gonna be the person at the hospital that I could get to do this. This is the person that can do this. I know that I know my family well enough that I can lie to them and manipulate them with this. And the fact that I can manipulate this relative about this shit because they watched, they not paying attention. The only thing that they know is that it's getting done. And I'm paying attention to who I got to do this. I'm going to build a rapport in the process with these folks. So when it's time for me to flip it on this motherfucker, they don't see it coming. That's how that stuff works. And more often than not, that when people don't really pay attention to that type of stuff, it's like you got to be mindful about who you get in bed with. And I don't mean that it's always in a sexual way. More often than not, sometimes it's relatives. Sometimes it's other people's friends and shit. Because those networks and connections will be the same ones that's going ahead and looking to take you down at the same time. So that's why it's like, what type of crime am I doing? Who I'm doing it to? What am I doing it for? What's the longevity in this situation? What's the benefit of it? Whether it's physically, spiritually, financially, or any other type of level. What benefit is it to me? But also at the same time, who I'm doing this shit with. What do they family, what do they family line come along with? Shit, what happened to their grandmama? Shit, you find out that the damn grandmama was the reason why the great grandma died in the first place. It's like, God damn, motherfucker, we just got into the bed with some motherfucking real ass demons. Oh damn, these motherfuckers was the one that set up for such and such to get caught up in prison. How the fuck they did that? I don't know. You just wasn't asking questions because the only thing that you knew is a motherfucker had a PhD, a degree, or more often than not, you just knew they was part of the streets and things like that. Other parts you did not know. You didn't know the dysfunction going on inside the motherfucking home. You just went along with the bullshit to join the bandwagon because you couldn't figure out why was it that you was willing to go against this person so bad. What is it that's hurting you? That's why it's always important. What is the trigger within you? Because when you don't know it, anybody could convince you to do some shit. And then when the shit start hitting the fan, what did I do? That's why they call it mania. DSM qualified. That's why they call it mania. Or episodes. You had an episode because you didn't know. What's that? EpiPen. It's to help bring down the adrenaline, right? It's those type of things that some people don't ever really pay attention to. That's why when you pay more attention to yourself and you take the time to go ahead and heal yourself to do better with yourself, guess what? Ain't shit nobody gonna bring to you. Or they would, one thing for sure, two things for certain. The more often that people don't bring shit to you, they know you're gonna be the person to speak the truth. It ain't that nobody like you. More often than not, it'll probably be more people willing to fucking fuck with you, but they just know certain shit. They just not able to get away with you. With me, they know that line shit. Girl, I heard. Don't girl, I heard. Hey, fam, hey, cuz, hey, bro. Hey, don't bring none of that shit. Is the motherfucker in the room to defend themselves so we can have a discussion? I don't want to do the gossip. We're going to have a discussion around that motherfucker. Hey, nigga, okay, what's your beef with this nigga? Now, you got to be the Zen motherfucker in the situation, right? Sure, why you so laid back? Because it requires me to give a fuck about this shit, motherfucker. It's still shit I'm still trying to figure out from when I was 6. But however, you know what I'm saying? It's not for me to bleed it onto you motherfuckers, but what the fuck is your problem? Okay, it's just me. You don't like this nigga because he make better beats than you. Okay, well, shit, the fact that he make better beats than you, right? What is it that you are capable of doing? Because apparently you just got this bravado thing, so you need to get the bravado off your chest. That's called ego, motherfucker. And instead of you sitting there talking about he do something better than you, why don't you learn from it? Because what? You don't like somebody guiding you? Did you not do good in school? Let's get to the bottom of the fucking trauma. Because stealing from somebody, that ain't fucking necessary. Closed mouth don't get fed. More often than not, just because you was always told, no, we ain't got it. It doesn't mean that somebody else is not willing to help you go get it. Keyword, help you. Guide you. Advise you. Consult with you. So you can get where you need to go. But they don't think outside the box for that. They're thinking so closed-minded. So more often than not, that's where you get the loopholes of situations, and people wanted to cause you sickness. People wanted to bring you down. Like in my instance, it's like, I want to break her down where she can feel like no one will love her. Motherfucker, a disease, shit, if anything, that just means a relationship just not was for me. It don't mean that I'm stuck with you and then I'm going to still give my time to you, motherfucker. It just mean it's just not for me. I've already been on that fucking verge already. Love me and love and happiness. Make it do wrong. Make it go do right. No, fuck it. I'm going to do right by fucking me. And already how I'm seeing how the world is going, it's fucking a catastrophe. So sitting there having to put in fucking work on another person, shit, that just means more work and love for me. Shit, I'm an asshole in this fucking world. Oh, the motherfucker got HIV. Sure, you gonna go fuck with the person with HIV? I sure the fuck will. That's how fucking sick of the fucking world I am. And somebody's like, that's sick. No, it's not. Anybody can have a healthy relationship. Anyone. There'll be people sitting here missing out. Oh, that girl has herpes. Okay, first of all, bitch, can you acknowledge that? Did you tell that man honestly? Did you tell him exactly what that is? Okay, now your response, keyword, responsibility. Take yourself to the professionals. How do we have an effective, safe intimacy? Romance is not just always about sexual intercourse. This is how you know more people don't be thinking about what they doing. They thinking about what's between their legs and not what's in their motherfucking heads. And sometimes, more often than not, thinking what's between your legs is what's get y'all asses locked up with the motherfucking feds. You see? Heads and beds, motherfucking heads and beds. And sometimes that's in motherfucking coffins or heads in a motherfucking bed locked up behind them silver balls. It's just an option. Because, I ain't gonna tell no, okay, giving a person AIDS or HIV intentionally, that's 25 years to life, depending on how many fucking people you contaminated. Get even down to just giving a person a simple STD these days, that shit can get you fucking locked up. If doing revenge videos of leaking people's nudes and stuff like that can get your ass about 5 to 10 years. With $1 million fines, motherfucker, I don't feel that it's necessary for me to fuck up my life and opportunity to breathe. Smell like air outside. It's a breeze. It's Florida here. It's hot than a motherfucker. I don't feel none of that shit is worth me sitting there trying to go off on a person, try to hurt your life, to go ahead and do any of it. It ain't even motherfucking necessary. Can I heal you before I go? Can I help you with something that you can see the world in a more positive place? Okay, and people be like, why you got something, motherfucker? I live in hell, motherfucker. I just want to see the positivity. Is it okay for me to smell the motherfucking flowers while I can? And somebody could be just like, why are you so positive? Bitch, why are you so fucking negative? I guess a positive and a negative. We're going ahead and start the motherfucking battery, bitch. Keep starting me. You know what I'm saying? You need I got a lot of fucking negatives, so the positive is making sure the battery keep going. I ain't the Energizer fucking bunny, but goddamn, you just keep going and going and going. Shit, rabbits keep fucking and fucking, and they keep having more rabbits. And then you get the little bunny rabbits. You just gotta do better. And be a motherfucker sitting, oh, she's crazy, motherfucker. I'm not the one that had to get Baker Act. I'm not the one that's sitting there, and I still don't even know what the fuck that woman did, but it was just like something very major. And then the person that went on ahead and got her locked up in that motherfucker, it was just like, I don't feel that's the first time, but don't sit there and lie on someone else about what it is that you're doing. When it comes to my mental health, I take that shit very seriously. If I got to take a break from people in the world, relationships, whatever the case may be, like, I wish I had done that a lot sooner than anything, like, but more or less it's just like sometimes you just find yourself in messed up situations. It's like I just knew I was coming from a fucked up family, because it's like, who would want to encourage someone to stay with somebody that is intentionally putting you in harm's way? If I'm looking to get away that, hey, this person is beating on me, oh, pray about it. I remember calling that man out. He was talking about, you just pray about it. Motherfucker, you're only 2 hours away. You mean you cannot come drive 2 hours? I will pay for you to get here to help me get this person out of my house. That's when I just knew I was just like, trusting a man, I couldn't. I couldn't and I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And more often than not, it was like, outside of females, my first disappointment was from a female. The woman that's supposed to protect me and look out for me is the one where it was just like, minus the HIV and AIDS, and I just pray, thank God every fucking day that I don't have that. And it's just like, but the worst part of it was having people that are in the medical field that do that, and people that were part of the police that do that shit. And it was like, when they used to talk about that shit to me, like, we were what? I want to say, give or take, about 12, 13 when they start, working for them, for the police and shit like that. And when I start hearing the conversations like, yeah, when you got to go ahead and make sure your charge stay on the defendant or the people who we locking away, you got to do what you got to do. And it's like, shit, if you got to tell a doctor to alter their medical records, I still remember hearing that shit as a kid. And then here I am, at 30 plus years later, I was like, these motherfuckers do that shit for real. And it was just like, where people be like, would nobody believe them? It's like, motherfucker, shit, somebody telling me some shit that, oh, I feel like the cops and they did this, they changed my medical records, they trying to make me, motherfucker, I'm gonna believe you. I'm not gonna ever sit there and say that your ass is crazy and you lying, motherfucker. I know, I've heard it. These motherfuckers, they were working for the sheriff department. They were working for the fucking sheriff department. Let me say it again. The sheriff department was gonna outrank any local police department any fucking day. And then if I'm sitting there reading books, notes, letters, and stuff like that with my auntie and stuff, where I can't remember all the names of the medications that they would put to slow down people's heart rates, what they would put in people's blood system, especially when it's time for them to have DCF, CPS type cases and stuff like that. That's why when I had my situation, but I was in, when I say I was in trauma shock. Like, imagine sitting there watching your baby at 5 weeks old flatlining in front of your motherfucking face. All I remember is that motherfucking doctor coming in and saying your child suffered a bilateral fracture to the skull. Within, I want to say, 3 to 5 minutes, is a room rush of people. I'm still trying to process the fact that you even said what you just said. Is doctors coming in. As the doctor's coming in, I'm sitting here watching all this shit happen. September 27, 2012. I still remember that shit like it was yesterday. And I just feel like I was like, everything anybody was talking to me is just sounding like everybody was talking at a distance. But in that instant, you know how like when you're in a traumatic moment, you're not remembering exactly like, hey, Shrita, you know, these doctors will do this to you. You need to know that mind you, I'm growing up in a household, how they telling me like, hey, this is what them doctors would do when they trying to get you caught up with DCF and CPS. You know, when you get ready to go to the hospital, you need to be mindful about what medications they giving you and stuff like that. Like, you could be drug free and there'll be a motherfucker that'll shoot you up with some motherfucking fentanyl. They'll shoot you up with some morphine. They'll shoot you up with certain things that, like, if you already got existing conditions and there's medicines that shouldn't be in your body, they'll put that shit in there and not put it on your discharge papers. Like, it's all kind of shit. It's even down to a point where if a motherfucker was really messy and say like they were old girls before they became, like, if they was in them streets before they became doctors and shit like that, even in college, they'll be so fucking low down and they know one of the registered nurse students that is doing the RN program, and you know you can do LPN stuff, you know, just so you can have a job and get some money. They will have them go switch out the girls' medical records at the clinics. So whenever like they boyfriends, husbands, or baby daddies, and it was somebody they want to fuck with, they would literally go change them girls' medical records or the baby daddy's medical records and say that these men had STDs, knowing that they didn't have it, but they did. And they will sit there and cause argument and make them break up with the wives and stuff like that. And they'll be like, oh, come here, baby. You know I love you. You know I ain't gonna do nothing like that. You know I'm not here to judge you, just to get with that man. I done seen that shit happen so many motherfucking times. That's why when people like say certain stuff, that's why I don't be bothered. Like, okay, sex is sex. Yeah, I don't care where it's coming from. It's a man talking about, like, some women be like, ugh. It's like, okay, yeah, it'll be ugh if you thinking about it from your person who's supposed to be with you. But however, when you just you're just fluid and you just get what it is, it's just like, why would I trip about something that is just, it's natural, it's gonna happen. But however, some of it is unnatural because some of it is, you don't know what happened to him. So that's why you know, you don't ever judge, but it's like, shit, are you willing to learn, listen, and just know what it is? But that's where it is, where I trust my intuition when it comes to how far and how deep certain people will go about certain situations just to trump you up on some shit. Like, even down to, like, depending on if it was like a particular inmate, right? They was gonna go arrest somebody and say if it's a felon, and say that felon seen like a cop do some dirty ass shit, or a cop being at a hotel that they know their ass ain't supposed to be in. It'll be like, motherfucker, you say something, I'm gonna go talk to your probation officer. Or they'll come back days later to go fuck with whoever they fucking with, and then they'll go back to the, you know, their car or something like that. Like, they'll go park the police car somewhere else. They will call it 10-7, right? Go park the car somewhere down where they supposed to be doing things. Catch an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi to the hotel room or the trucking lot to go meet up with, you know, a prostitute or a dude, man, whatever they going into, right? And say they run into a felon that seen them, especially if they in uniform or something like that, and they seen them, they be like, you say some shit, or they just give a look and just walk off type shit. It's like, And they'll turn up the volume on their radio as if they making a response call or some shit like that, knowing they ain't doing nothing. And more often than not, that's how they be blackmailing some of these, people that are felons and shit like that. Like, that shit run real deep. It ain't no motherfucking secret to me, but for somebody, they probably watching like, how the fuck, like, motherfucker, you gotta know the codes to the line about when they going offline, when they trying to turn off the dispatch. You gotta know what is it called? The code word for when they when they turning off the cameras or when they turning on the cameras. Okay, because more often than not, by law, with them paying for them to have the cameras on their body cams, you know that once they get ready to respond to the call, their camera got to be rolling up to, I want to say it's either up to 3 to 6 feet before they approach your door. So meaning they got to, more often than not, when they get out of their car and they responded to the address, meaning their camera should be rolling to show that they came to your building and them coming up to approach you. They don't show that anytime in between that. It's leaving probable cause for a chance that regardless of what they do, regardless of, like, it came from our police station, that still leaves a ample amount of time for it to be like tampered with. And more often than not, some people don't be knowing that by law. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bylaws, the in-laws, the state legislation laws, shit, you got to know that shit. And when you know it, it's just like you will know exactly how it pan out and play out with certain things. And then that also allow you to avoid for people to try to play that you're incompetent or what's the other one? It's not only incompetent. Not emotional dysregulation. It's another one. They'll come to me soon. I'll put it on a community post. But it's like, if they can't play those things, they need you to have a particular physical reaction or retroactive abuse. So that'll be like you going outside or neighbor complaints. It's another one. I'm telling you, I ain't DJ Khaled or nothing like that. It's another one. You just gotta know how that shit operate. That's why it's like, even then, it's like you gotta know strategically the ins and out of criminals and the type of criminals you dealing with. More or less, it's like, are you dealing with the actual underground criminals, or are you dealing with the criminals that are, semi-underground, was underground before they went, they ain't ever right. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like certain things you got to know, but also requires you to have pure knowledge about, certain laws and stuff like that. The only thing that I know in my situation is where I'm missing out on exactly which forms. Because shit, you could get a dictionary and know exactly how to, formulate what it is that you need to say. But more often not, shit, the only thing I feel like I'm missing is which forms am I using when it's time for me to go ahead and do what I need to do. That's probably about it. But more often than not, you got to know exactly what's the sole purpose of why people will come after you, how hard they coming after you, what type of money. The more people it is and the heavier the type of reaction of the people that's being used in that situation, the bigger the fucking money. In my situation, has been postal service, interception, landlord issues, hotel issues, flight issues, car rental issues, food poisoning, that's been their go-to. Like, food poisoning was always the go-to, even from my own fucking family and stuff like that. If it wasn't food, it's gonna be the drinks and stuff like that. So when you learn about all the depths of that, you know exactly more or less how they coming towards you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what they call it, criminal minds, but you got to know the mind of a criminal. It ain't about criminal minds. You got to know the mind of how it operate. Or if not, more or less, you got to, if you ain't come from that world, ain't nobody going to be able to tell you shit. I'm not for to listen to a motherfucker talking about, I got a degree in criminology. That don't mean not a motherfucking thing to me. Shit, that textbook can teach you just how to make sure that you can look for certain things, because we don't always have the word to the shit that we already been experiencing life experience. But however, more often than not, it's just a simple little guy, but more or less that life experience, shit, that shit hit different. It hit different. Because when you know exactly, what it is, but textbook is just all they really do is just brush you up on, how to do it even more on a professional level than anything. But however, the biggest thing of it all, healing is very, very prevalent. Regardless of what you got going on, healing, man, you gotta fucking heal. Cause you not choosing to heal, that shit it's gonna kick you in the ass every time. If you ain't got discernment, it's gonna go against you. Confirmation. But more or less, it's just like you just gotta know. That's why when people be like, "Oh, you can't get a man," it ain't about I can't get a man. I don't know where you get that shit from. It's just I don't care to keep them. Because I'm not going to be a person to cheat. I'm not a person to cheat, mother. You just going to do what you're going to do. I'd rather you feel like you'll be in love and you got the freedom to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Do that shit in peace. But do that shit while I'm not here. Or, it's people that want to go along with this stuff. It's like, shit, that man had left that door August 7, 2019. And that motherfucker is still going hard in the pain with his mom. I left my family with Ayana, October 18, 2007. I had left originally to New York December of 2007. Right? Then I want to say by summer, July 2008, I signed up for the Navy. Then I was delayed for like 6 months to a year because I ended up having an abortion, and the hormones were still in my system, so I couldn't. So they still kept put me on delay, and then they didn't have any like shipping dates after the hormones because it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the hormones to like fully be out of your body. And by the time it was, I was ready to go ahead and leave it. Here we are in 2009. And then it was like, shit, the Army had like rapid, shipping. So I was like, well, shit. Actually, I went to the Marines before that. He was like, it's your hips. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, it's all good. Went on ahead and went to the Army. From there, it was just like, and to me, I felt like going to the military was something that was going to give me structure. It gave me a little bit of discipline. Organization about how to think, seeing more life skills. Even though it's like I had a lot of life experience, it was just like, it just allowed me to see even more about what I needed to understand with certain things, but it also allowed me to see more of what I needed to see. So it's just like, with that, it was just like, that allowed even more things, you know what I'm saying? But I know for sure it wasn't being irresponsible. Should why go to the military and then come right out to be irresponsible? That's ass backwards. Divine Revelations reveals messages and has the power to destroy, disruption of disaster, aids in transformation. I can say honestly, this has been very transformative. You know what I'm saying? But I don't trip. But hopefully, whatever it is, I know I went all over the place or whatever. The message will be more useful once I get some sleep. But I know it was still a useful, constructive type of message that did need to come out. A confirmation and prediction for somebody, and guidance as well. Awareness, because I want to say I did put awareness in the title. Just be aware, be mindful, so you know exactly what you are dealing with. But in a situation, if this is a court case, religion, people would more or less, when people throw religion in your face, just know more or less it's some bullshit behind it. Religion shouldn't come in unless it's something where you're looking to console the person. Because when the empathy is genuine, that's when it's like, may I pray for you? Not P-R-E-Y. P-R-A-Y, may I pray for you. And praying doesn't even mean for you to just, oh God, please do. No, most of the time the prayer is giving that person a hug. A heart to heart. Heart to heart is actually, let me love on you, baby, as you breaking down and the world is fucking against you. Let my lap be the where you rest your head. Let me, let me let my feet be your footstool for that moment. Because sometimes you just let me wash your feet. Let me hold you. Washing a person's feet is sometimes allowing them to lay their hand on your chest, on your shoulder. That hug enough is a prayer. Because sometimes you're speaking and you're still coming from a sad, depressed place. I ain't got all the words for you, but hey, it's okay. And you want to know why it's okay? You created a safety net for that person to come in and just say what you got, say what you need to say, right? Because tomorrow's not ever fucking guaranteed, and that is very, very, very important. Because when a person is looking to throw let me pray that demon off of you, and sometimes you got to, them people could be having way more fucking demons on them. That's why they be having more demons on them. Then, hey, you need to go ahead and fall back. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and go over there and not take that shit back over there. Oh, I'm gonna let you do it, but also overseeing what you touch me. And you pray and you do something evil, the backfire is very bad. Because I allowed you to do something. But also in the allowance, are you speaking good or are you speaking bad? The moment you speak death or you do something pertaining to the death of a person that didn't do anything and I came in pure innocence, the backfire leads to sometimes, depending on who you are, 2 to 3 to 5 years, more often than not, it's going to seem like a life sentence because I come in peace. Know your power, because certain people will be willing to oppress you by the things that they choose to do towards you. More often than not. Because if God told me to come as you are, I'm coming as I am. Cuss words and all. Okay? At a point in time, it used to be cuss words and a blunt. Because my nerves, so I didn't go ahead and strangle motherfuckers that I ain't got no business strangling motherfuckers. But then when I realized that, hey, they gonna lace those things. People like this, they putting fentanyl in this stuff. No, they only putting it into motherfuckers that they need to prove something and steal something from you. That's why you get more people that they're looking to fight to grow their own, so you don't run into that type of situation of people wanting to lace your stuff with fentanyl and all this other weird ass stuff. And when it's actually medicinal, because for me, it was actually helping me slow my brain down. And I could actually, I can like tolerate people versus like right now I have like the worst intolerance, but like I can, deal with people, but it's like difficult. So it's just like wanting to be around people is just like, what's the reasoning? And get to a point sometimes I would literally have to smoke just to eat because of my stomach is so jacked up from all the poisoning that it would literally be to a point where it's either I will do an overeating or I would like super, super undereat. And then sometimes depending on what I would smoke, it actually create a balance where I can actually eat. And then sometimes it'll be like, my brain will be going, that I don't have time to really pay attention to like people or certain things that I should pay attention to, I'm going to miss. But now it's just like, I'm okay without it. Now it's just one of those, I don't miss a beat. And real motherfuckers like, God damn, like, good luck on trying to convince me to go ahead and do that. It ain't that much stress and hate in the world. Now exactly when you know exactly where it's coming from, when you get to the source of it, what's the need for it? Then it just requires for you to do a recalibration of yourself. And once you recalibrate yourself, shit, isolation is the fucking place to go. So even though some people feel like they're forcing you and making you scared, motherfucker, that quietness of forcing someone to do something that they originally was already planning to do, shit, it works in their benefit. At least for me, I love loneliness. I ain't got to worry about no relationship. I ain't got to worry about all this extra shit. Like, shit, the benefit of the situation is a benefit. Right? And more often than not, it's like, why stress about what somebody doing? Because it's like, oh, we're going to offer them a drink. Motherfucker, I'm not even a drinker. I hate the taste of alcohol, but shit, when you need it, it's just like, shit, let me take a shot. Especially if I gotta be around some fucking stupid ass motherfuckers. Take it to the head. You want to smoke? I'm good off of you. Because I ain't see you roll it. I ain't even see who you purchased it from. I'm good, cuz. Yeah, that's all you, player. You hungry? You know what? I ate before I even came to this motherfucker. You thirsty? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like 7-Eleven or it's a corner store somewhere. I'm good. Motherfucker, I'll be thirsty for about 2-3 hours. Motherfucker, I'll get into a drink. It look like we're going to be in Carmack City to make sure these motherfucking lips don't get too dry. You hear me? Like, now I know better. You know what I'm saying? You don't eat from nobody. You don't drink from nobody. You ain't got to shake nobody's hand. Hey, I'd rather do a Japanese Asian bow. Hey, nice to meet you. Konnichiwa. Nagalesa. Ni hao, motherfucker. Ni hao. Don't shake my hand. Don't touch me. Can I give you I don't even know you like that. I don't even know you like that. Hey, come on, talk to me, baby girl. Hey, shouty, look like you wanted to touch on me. That's an energy transfer. Don't touch me. You nasty. But those things are very things. Are we in agreement? Yes, we are. I will. Get him inside. Shit. I swear to God. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shit, long as I'm showing you words of gratitude and appreciation. A handshake or a hug is not prevalent no more. Like the longer that I go without like physical contact, it's just like it's a beautiful thing because now people gonna be like, she ain't gonna shake people's hand. You ain't gonna give nobody a hug. What the fuck? Do what? That's what you humanoids do. Y'all do that shit. Leave me alone. But I appreciate it. I thank you for doing business with me. They're going to be like, what? That's not professional. Says who? And what rule book? There's a rule book that says that I'm forced to shake your hand to be in agreement with you. That is a systematic thing that going ahead and be an energetic exchange. Motherfucker, I probably put on some gloves and feel like Michael Jackson. Shake my hand, baby. Now you can shake my hand. Let me put on some gloves. So you got to put on a glove before you shake somebody's hand? I sure the fuck will. I don't know where your hands been. You might have been digging in the wedgie before you came to shake my hand. I don't know. But what I do know is there's a lot of motherfuckers thievery, stealing, lying. Like, motherfucker, I should have been rich by now. Okay? I should have been Estee Lauder, Walmart, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos type of rich by now. However, one day. Y'all be great out here in the world. I'm done with this message. Hopefully I can just go back to sleep. Sleep is important. I might be a fat ass here in just a quick second. Who knows? Most likely. I was like, I'm going to be a fat ass here in a second and just call it a day. Y'all be great.